Hello, everybody, and welcome to my Thursday thoughts. So, the title of the blog this today is I look at the summer differently now. So, bear with me as I try to translate this. How I love the summertime. Summer is the favorite time for so many people, and I'm not included. I am not excluded for that. From that, sorry, I'm a big summer person, and it's one of my favorite seasons. Everything is just so wonderful in the summertime, especially here in Iceland. The light is, the sun never sits, so you get like a 24-hour day, and you just want to stay up late. You don't want to go to sleep, and it's just everything gets a little bit more relaxed. The routine is not as strict, and maybe you could even have ice cream for a coffee break in the coffee break. But I just have to admit that I'm starting to see the summer a little bit differently after I've started to look through eyes. When I think about the summer before with my older kids, everything was just so easy and carefree. But now I know that that isn't always the case for everyone. And in the summertime, for instance, it's much more obvious to me how Ayer's condition, Duchenne, his disease, it's isolating him a lot. Because most of the kids, they just stay outside and play all day long, and he just does not have the energy to do that, and he wants to come inside and rest, and that leaves him alone a lot of the time. He can't stay outside all day long because he gets very tired, and like I said, he needs to rest. And the other kids, obviously, I could understand that they want to stay outside as much as possible, and hence they're not gonna ask Ayer to play a lot. Come to our house and ask for him to play. Like I said, I can totally understand that. I was that kid myself that never wanted to go inside in the summertime. I always wanted to stay out, even when my mom called me at 10 o'clock at night. Hilda, let's go to bed. No, I tried to hide somewhere so I wouldn't have to go inside. But as I see this now, it's just hard to see him sitting alone at home day after day, having no one to play with. And you know, in the summertime, there are so many things available for kids. Like here in Iceland, and we probably have it all over. It's like those courses you have for kids that kids can go to while their parents are at work. They have all those activities. But for Ayer, it's very difficult to join those courses because there are so many games and running games and just a lot of outdoor activity. And because of that, obviously he misses out on the company, even though he will maybe be able to attend some of the events if they're not too much, too active. But we did try to let him go last summer to one course, but unfortunately, it was more, it did more bad than good for him actually, because he just really experienced his just that he couldn't do all the things that the other kids were doing, and it really hit him hard, and he came home crying a lot of the time, and we just thought, okay, this is not good for him. His self-esteem was just really shattered, and he was feeling very low about himself because he saw the other kids accomplishing so many things that he couldn't do. So we decided not to. We took him out of that. And I really, it's strange, like I've talked about this before, how many things we take for granted. I really hadn't given a lot of thought about how important. I just didn't think a lot about how important it is for your kid to be able to go out and play in the summertime and just stay outside all day, just doing some fun stuff, until I experienced this with Ayer. You could try to imagine what it's like for him trying to, chase the other kids, running around all day when he's suffering from a muscle wasting disease, and has really a lot of difficulty running. And all exercise is so strenuous for him, and difficult. He really needs to dig deep and give it his all just to run a little bit with the other kids and keep up with them. It really is a task for him. And I watch him struggle a lot. But I admire him so much. He's always doing his best. He's so just determined, and he never gives up. And let me tell you, he's really doing a wonderful job, trying his best. But sometimes he just can't do it anymore. He needs to just sit down and take a break. And the other kids, I think for them, it's not very exciting when someone is always calling, wait, wait, wait. I don't want to be last. Wait for me. Because Ayer's always saying that, of course, when they're running ahead of him. And of course, it's only natural for them to forget themselves in the heat of the moment. I mean, after all, they're kids, full of energy and life. And even though they do take a lot of consideration to Ayer, they show him a lot of consideration. It's still hard for them, for the long run, and maybe that's why they don't really come and ask him to play in the summertime. It's just too hard, and he's too slow. And then, of course, all kids love trampolines, and they spend their whole days jumping on the trampoline. But that is unfortunately one of the worst things for Ayer. And it really doesn't help for him in regards to being able to play to the other kids, that we're trying to limit in at least in a little way, that he goes to the trampoline so he won't injure himself or overdo himself, because it's just so much fun. You want to jump up and down all day, and that is something that is very bad for a Dushan boy to do. And for me, this is something that is very difficult, because of course I want to let him try as much as possible. But when your doctor is saying we shouldn't let him do it because it's so bad for him, what am I supposed to choose as a parent? Should I let him jump and have fun and take the risk that he will overdo it and injure himself and maybe hasten the process that he won't be able to walk? Or should I just ban him to do it completely and have him miss out on everything and being part and belonging and just enjoying childhood and being having fun, being a kid? It's not an easy decision, let me tell you. And I think most parents can probably relate to that. And we do try to get him as involved as possible for him, have him join everything that is possible for him, because we want him to experience, as much as he can. Of course, we want that. I don't want him wrapped up in cotton and just, don't get to do that. He won't be able to do anything. I truly believe that it helps him to be able to do most things, because if he wouldn't move or do those things, that's not good either. I think I believe that, though, at least. And he's been going to soccer practices this summer, and it's so much fun to watch him, and he loves it. And the coaches have been really doing a good job, I think, and they're trying to adapt the exercises for Ayer so he can join. If he's tired, sometimes he gets to be an assistant coach or a judge, and he's super happy about that. So, just to be included, it's so important, and I see it so well how much it matters to him. It's so easy to adapt the practices, and the courses, like I talked about earlier, just so that kids, handicapped or rare disease children, or just children who are what's the word? Motor skills impaired. I don't know. No, that's not the right word. Sorry, you know what I'm talking about. Who are having difficulties doing physical activities, or having difficulties doing physical activities. Sorry. It's easy to adapt the practices in all the courses so that they can be a part of it. It's just so important for those kids like Ayer to feel, to sense that they belong. It matters to all of us, obviously, but especially to those kids, because they miss out on so much at times. It's just the way it is, unfortunately. And I didn't really notice this so much when I was younger. It's only become more apparent now when I see his peers. They're just surpassing. His skills are much weaker than theirs. They're just physically stronger and more capable of doing a lot of things. And I want to emphasize that I'm not writing or doing this blog to get some sympathy or anything like that. I just want to raise awareness of what it can be like for rare disease children or handicapped children, so that their parents, so you guys out there listening to this, can talk to your children and educate them about not everyone is the same, and remind them to ask that child, the classmate that may be sitting home alone with no one to play, go and ask him to play. Just remind them of that. That is the takeaway that I'm hoping you will get from this blog. And also I wanted to write this to encourage the sports club to do even better, so everyone can join in the summertime, because it's so important, like I said. And just remember, everyone, in our we get so caught up in life and just kind of forget about things. Just keep this at the back of your head, and just let's remember everyone, so everyone can be included. So to wrap this up, I hope you all have a wonderful summer and have a great time. And thank you for listening, and all my love to you. Until next time.